Hello and welcome everybody to Who Got Next, the show where we deep dive with tomorrow's talent. Before I introduce our guest today, I do want to take this time to promote the show. You can find us WhoGotNextgg on all social media. We will be coming to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every other podcasting platform in the next week. You can also watch this show here and see all of our beautiful faces on YouTube at Who Got Next. So, my guest today, not only is he a streamer, not only is he a gamer, but he is a podcaster as well. KStew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. And from one podcaster to another, you kind of killed that intro better than like even we do ours. So I'm already like, damn, I'm jealous.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So yeah, man, with this show, you're gonna be episode number 1. So
Oh, okay.
congratulations. With this
Caught me
show,
off
we're
guard.
going to be diving in with talent and talking about kind of what drives you, what motivates you as a creator, as a gamer. And so with that, I really want to start with kind of question number 1 of what really got you into video games.
That's a so I've been gaming, long story short, since I was about 4 or 5 years old. Whenever we moved to the house that I'm at, which was about 24 years ago. I'm 28 currently. So my parents got me a Super Nintendo one year for my birthday or for Christmas, and ever since then, like just I've been addicted. Like I don't want to say necessarily addicted, but like it was that cool escape. Like I've liked reading, like I like diving into like fantasy world, like fiction world. So it's like books were really cool to me as a kid, but then video games were just that extra like next level of like wow, like I'm actually in this fiction, fantasy, sci-fi, RPG, anything I wanted world. And I was like, this is awesome. Like little kid me loved that.
Yeah. So, were you a big fan of like video game lore and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, even up until high school, like I didn't have online gaming. So everything I played was single player, story based. So RPGs and like any even like outside sources, like, books. Like I'm a Halo fan. Like I've read some Halo books, Star Wars fan, read some Star Wars books. So it's like, yeah, I was big into just strictly lore for the better half of my gaming career entirely.
That's so interesting to me too, because I'm a big fan of lore as well. For like League of Legends and these massive, immersive universes that people can
Yeah.
create for us to dive into. Now, talking about Halo, when did you start playing Halo?
I started playing Halo, I think I want to say it was a year after it came out because I actually got uh, don't get mad at me, but I got a pirated copy from my cousin and played it on my dad's laptop. So I actually started playing Halo on computer,
Oh wow.
and yeah, and like I heard like friends at school talking about it because I said I got it a year late. So of course all the kids at my school had played it, and
Yeah.
when my cousin's like, "Hey, I have a copy of this," I was like, "Hey, that's the game that no one will stop talking about." So it's like, let me play this, and I booted it up on my dad's work computer, which I don't think he was a fan of, but oh well. And it's like the game hooked me literally from like the beginning. I was like, wow, this is awesome. It set itself up so well, and like I said, that part of me that likes fantasy world, diving into something like it set it up so beautifully that I couldn't not like it.
Yeah, so now kind of moving towards what pushed you into streaming and like this entertainment side of gaming, is podcasting something that you see as being a way to continue diving into things and learning about games and so on just in a new medium?
In terms of like lore, like we were talking about, or like as a whole.
Um, both. So as a whole, and more so because I've listened to the KillCamCast, which you can find on Twitter at the KillCamCast as well. Great show. They post weekly episodes, I believe. And the
We're
last
trying to get
one,
on weekly.
yeah, the last one they had posted was about, I believe the Xbox release or the showcase. So you guys could check that one out. Link will be in the description below. But going back to that, um, is that something that you kind of tap into that side for gaming where you are able to talk about something and, continue going on and learning about games and so on?
Yeah, so like it kind of started out like as a base copy. It was like me and my high school best friend. Like we'd always hang out and talk about games. Like we like kind of the same style of games. Like he's a big Halo fan, I am as
Mhm.
well. But we also just like talking about like everything gaming. Like he's into like certain competitive games. I'm into competitive games. He's big into like business and accounting, so he's interested in like watching how sales and unit productions like affects like the stock market, stuff like that. I like following a lot of social media trends, streamers, competitions. So it's just kind of a way for us to like he talks about what he knows a lot about, I talk about what I know about a lot about. So it's like not necessarily about specific game itself, although we do it. It's mostly just, we'll like grab little bits throughout the entire industry to talk about just because I mean we would just sit around and hang out and grab beers and talk about it. So it's like we're like, let's make a podcast about it.
Yeah. No, it's a good show. I've listened to I don't want to say I've listened to every episode because I can't say that for certain, but I've listened to quite a lot of them. The last one I remember listening to was obviously the one you guys posted today. I think the first one that I had watched was the episode about. It was the one where you guys talked about VR games, and it was the big VR game sale and so on.
Yep.
Um,
He's big into that.
yeah, yeah. I couldn't tell. Obviously, with the podcast, you can't tell exactly who's talking, but no,
Yeah.
it was really interesting because for me, VR gaming isn't something that I've been kind of
Mhm.
drawn to necessarily. But no, it was really interesting. It almost made me want to go out and buy a VR set. I'm like, wow, these games sound really cool. Um, so
They're a trap.
yes, yes, they're a trap. So kind of looking at your history and more things for you in terms of besides just gaming, kind of what have been your passions? I know
So
for one thing about, like longboarding and skateboarding and things like that. Besides that, kind of what else have you been like really into?
when I was younger, early high school, like I was into music, like I liked playing guitar, and then kind of fizzled out with guitar and kind of switched more to drums.
Mm-hmm.
And like I enjoyed both of those hobbies, and like same thing with longboarding. Like once I got out of high school and was in college, like longboarding kind of became the thing. And they're all things I like. Like I'm not saying I hated them, but I kind of grew out of them, and like that's also kind of why like gaming's the one thing I haven't grown out of. I hope to
Yeah.
God I don't grow out of. But yeah, I mean, like you said, like music, longboarding, skateboarding, and then I mean I like movies as well. But it's like I mean I don't have anything to show for it. I don't do like a movie podcast or reviews, but it's like I will veg out in front of a TV and just watch stuff. I mean, sure
Yeah.
everyone does nowadays,
Yeah,
but
no, that's for sure. It's interesting. A show that I had watched that's kind of like what you're talking about is called the Nerd Soup Podcast. They go over movies, all kinds of stuff. Great show as well. Um, but no, yeah, that's super interesting. With streaming, right? How long have you been streaming for?
I've been streaming honestly on and off streaming for probably about 6 7 years.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So were you a
So I
part of like Justin TV or were you always in the Twitch era?
I was in the Twitch era. I was
Okay,
not in the Justin TV era.
gotcha.
Yeah. And then I've like I said on off for about 6 7 years, and then more consistently about the past year and a half, 2 years. Once I hit affiliate, I was like, okay, maybe I'll like at least set some sort of schedule and consistency.
Okay. So
But
with that, like what pushed you and drove you into wanting to stream?
it started with me and my buddies. We'd every single weekend for years, we'd always hop on Modern Warfare 2, and like we'd have a blast doing it. We'd all be in the party chat, like, talking smack. It was really fun. And I was like, hey, like, I'd built a computer and I was like, hey, this computer's capable of streaming. And like, I already had a capture card. So I'm like, all right, let's just do it. So it's like, I would stream MW2, and a couple of my old coworkers and friends would watch. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Okay,
And
cool. So has there been any streamers or anything like that that have like really influenced you or inspired you in any way?
I try to like at least make it my own. I don't do
Yeah.
like I mean I know some streamers have like their like I don't want to call it gimmicks, but like their quirks, like their things that they have or do.
Mhm.
I try to kind of just do my own thing. Like I don't want to look like I'm copying someone because if it works for someone, I want that to work for them. I don't want to be like, oh hey, like I'm gonna do what they did. Like I want to kind of do my own thing, which is why if you've seen my stream, it's very simplified and streamlined because I'm just like, hey, like I'm just here to talk and play games. I don't want to
Yeah.
do it. But I mean, I'll watch streamers that go like above and beyond with like their production level, and it's like I mean, watching it, I'm like, man, that's really cool. If I had, like spare time and patience to do that, I would set it up. But I'm just, I said, I just want to talk, play games, shoot the shit with people. So
Yeah, no, I like that. I was in your stream when you played, I think it was 40K Warhammer, and when we were chilling in there, like to me, that is always something that has drawn me to Twitch channels. Like all of my close friends that are streamers on Twitch have been really just hop in, play games, and chat. That's
yeah,
kind of what the chat has always been circled around. I think there's something so pure about that too,
yeah,
with gaming, right? Everybody that's there is there for the game. At least in my opinion. There's two things that draw me to a stream. It's one, a game that I find interesting and want to play, and two, a place where either I enjoy interacting and communicating with the streamer or the chat. I've had
okay.
chats that I go into that we're there watching the streamer play games. Like, obviously, we're commenting on the game and everything, but I'm really going in there to talk to the other people in chat. So I think that is super like cool, and
I
in
like
its
chats
own
like that.
way, it's unique because so many people now are getting, the big XLR marks and all the, RGB lights and the webcams, the green screens, all the overlays and all this stuff because they're trying to in a way emulate the professional streamers and so on, which again, there's nothing wrong. I've done it myself of
Yeah,
trying to have a super high production valued stream, but it's something super pure about just kind of hopping in and gaming. So now with
yeah.
your stream, obviously you are affiliate, keeping a little bit more consistently with your streams. Is there an end goal for streaming?
Uh, I mean, do I personally have an end goal? Honestly, no. Like, well, I have I have a wife and a child. Um, I'm back to working part time. I had a full time job before this whole coronavirus stuff happened,
Mm-hmm.
but like, job was good, family's good. Like streaming was just kind of just like that was my me time for lack of a
Yeah.
better word. Like my wife has her me time, I have my me time. My me time was streaming, so it's like I'm not in this to get like super big and famous. I don't want to be the next Ninja or XQC, but it's cool to like, play a game, have some of your friends come in and like hang out. So to me, it was just like, it was a way to just hang out with people. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out and have beers with them. So it's like, I might as well play Halo or something with them. And then they can come in and, talk around, talk some shit to me, which always happens. So,
Yeah. No, for sure.
but it's
I
fun.
Yeah, I would say like I've done interviews with people before, and I want to say there's something about just kind of the wanna game mentality. Like a lot of people that I have talked to say, "Oh, I want to be the big streamer. I want to be famous." So honestly, it's really refreshing to just kind of have like a not a in a bad way simplistic, but just like a hey, we game and we hang out kind of a
Yeah.
vibe.
And like I'm not saying like for some reason like if breakthrough ever happens and like all of a sudden viewers are in the thousands, like I'm not going to be like, oh, this is what I want, like I'm out. But it's like
Yeah.
me being, it's like I'm not being like a Debbie Downer, but it's like realistically that's hard to achieve, like with the amount of streamers that are out there and like versus big streamers that are out there, it's like the ratio is very one-sided. So it's like realistically, I'm not in it for that. So
Yeah.
maybe if I had gotten started earlier on and like stayed consistent, maybe yeah. But it's like I said, I have a wife, a kid, a job. Like while it would be fun, like I gotta do what's best for all of.
Yeah. No, that's really respectable. So what do you do for work, if you don't mind me
I'm a
asking?
drafter,
Oh,
like
okay.
computer aided drafting, like pipeline, like
Oh,
oil and gas
wow.
stuff like that. Subsea. I'm doing subsea stuff now.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool. So, are you interested in pursuing that as a full-time career along with
Oh
streaming?
yeah, I mean, I've been drafting. I started classes in 2012, so I've been doing it for about 8 years
Oh,
and
wow. Okay.
worked a couple jobs already. So it's like, yeah, it is what I want to be my career. Yeah, like it's something that I started doing it. Like my stepdad was like, hey, try it out. He's like, it's what I do. He's like, you might like it. Like you're on the computer. Went to classes. I was like, this is kind of easy. And like jobs, like all right, like kind of cool. It's a very interesting field. I'm constantly learning. It's just a very volatile field. That's the only
Yeah.
downfall.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I I plan on, doing drafting and designing as long as I can. And yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, streaming on the side, sure. If I can keep it going, more than power to me. I'd love to keep it going.
sweet. So now, kind of focusing back in on gaming, and more looking at the future, right? Obviously, we're both big Halo fans. Do you think that Halo Infinite will be the savior of Halo, or just another installment with the name Halo attached to it?
Do you want the short answer or the long answer? Because as a Halo
Long,
fan, I could.
give it to me.
So I've been a Halo fan. I liked pretty much every Halo up until Halo 5.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people could agree. Not saying that everyone hates Halo 5. There are some Halo 5 fans. Like, I'm not shitting on them. I'm just saying, like, look at populations throughout the years. Halo 5 had a quick fall off, and
Mm-hmm.
look at its community reaction. Halo Infinite, it looks like the development team at 343 has listened to what the community wants. They're bringing back that classic art style, which is a good sign. Like that demo, graphics aside, I don't want to get into that. I think that's a piss poor argument, but whatever. Like it gave off like original Halo, like Halo 1 vibes, even kind of Halo 2. So it's like, it looks like they're really showing that, hey, we saw that you didn't like what we were doing. So we're going to try and listen to you as best we can while still keeping it modern. So I am optimistic for this Halo, which is something that I haven't been for a while. So
Nice.
I want it to do well. I really want it to do well.
I do too. Like for me, I was always a big Forge creator. I always made custom maps, and I always loved, showing off the custom maps. And for me, that would be something that in Halo, that's something for me. Obviously, it has to have good gunplay and maps itself
Mm-hmm.
for, public matches. But for me, Forge has always been the like driving factor. Being someone that like super creative, like I fell in love with Minecraft and the idea with creating my own world and building everything
Yep.
from the ground up, right? And so Forge gave me the opportunity to do that within a game and franchise that I love dearly. So for me, having a really solid like Forge, not only does that one play to me personally that I would really like the game, but also too I think that gives more longevity to Halo in general, right? Because if the public matchmaking is kind of lacking or is not what people want right away, I do think that Forge maps and the creative community is something that one Halo needs. It needs
Oh
that
yeah.
bringing back to kind of the roots of playing Halo and enjoying Halo as a game, because I feel like a lot of people that are playing Halo now are not necessarily, they're either one diehard fans of the series or
Halo
two,
boomers.
yeah, the Halo boomers, or they are Halo zoomers trying to become professional players. And for me, to Halo to be successful again, I think it really has to come back to that community side, which, in my opinion, starts in Forge. It starts in creating a place for people to go and do mini games and everything. Because for me, gaming has always been about more than just matchmaking, right? I've always done, competitive games and,
Yeah.
in Call of Duty playing whatever, this and that. But there has been something so pure, and I've never had more fun playing a game than when I'm playing like a mini game or, hide and
Yeah.
seek or, infected or so on.
I mean, yeah, everyone. That's what Halo 3 was. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
still see people posting to this day. It's like, hey, like anyone want to do like Fat Kid or Duck Hunt or Ice Cream
Yeah.
Man? It's like I've done nights like that with my friends. Like I search people's. I've got like 50 something game types, and it's like, hey, you guys want to go play customs? And it's like everyone's like, yeah, I'm in. Like
Yeah.
Halo 3 and Halo Reach customs, like that was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm a matchmaking kid. I like trying to get high ranks, but there was just something about getting like 10 people on. It's like, all right, like what kind of goofy games do we have? Want to play some Jenga? All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
And like that was fun. It's still fun to this day. I could do that all day. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, for
Because
sure.
like you
I
said,
remember I made racetracks. So I would make
oh sweet.
Warthog racetracks. So because I was always into like Hot Wheels and things growing up. So how you'd have to throw your car down and let it go all the way down, the
Mm-hmm.
track and everything. I always thought that that was super cool. And making mini games with it too. Like you would have, obviously, how you have a gun on the back of a Warthog trying to like blow up the other car and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So with that, obviously Halo being, the Xbox exclusive title, but we've also seen with um, Call of Duty now being announced that the competitive side, and this is kind of more into crossplay in general,
Yeah.
with PC now being eligible for professional play in Call of Duty. Do you think that we are trending in this era of gaming more and more becoming to where it's less reliant on what you play and more so like your skill on the game? Because for a long time it's been, people saying, oh, PC master race, and oh, Xbox over PlayStation or PlayStation over Xbox, and these kind of console wars in a way.
Yep.
Do you see that we're trending more in a way of this no longer matters?
Yes and no. I've from looking at social media, I don't think the console war thing's gonna die because it's like you look at an Xbox post, like you go to like any official Xbox Twitter or any official PlayStation Twitter post
Mm-hmm.
that they do, and just any post on either of those, click them and look at the comments. It is a pissing contest between Xbox and Sony fanboys, and at this point, it's so burnt out and annoying.
Yeah.
Like I- it's like I'm more team Microsoft because I'm biased. I'm Halo, like, and I think what Microsoft's business model is doing is amazing. But like, I'm gonna get a PS5 before I'll get an Xbox because everything on Xbox is going to PC too. Everything's gonna have crossplay, like you said. So it's like, can we just stop like throwing everyone down? It's like pretty much at this point, it doesn't matter if the game's got multiplayer. It's gonna have all crossplay at this point. Like we got Call of Duty having crossplay. Halo's gonna have crossplay with PC and Xbox. Fortnite's got crossplay, Rocket League's got crossplay. It's like, all your big popular games have crossplay. Can we finally just be like, hey, like that's cool. You got a PlayStation, I got an Xbox. Let's still play. Yay.
Yeah.
Instead, people still like to be like, fuck you, Sony. And it's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I've never truly understood the console war. For me, it was always about Call of Duty priority. I played Xbox when they had the exclusive contract for DLC to be first, and then, or, betas and things like that to be first.
Mm-hmm.
I switched to PlayStation when they had
I
it,
was the same way.
To me, it
I,
never really mattered. It was always about what games were there. Now, this is also interesting. Do you think that the exclusive titles on Xbox, pretty much
mhm.
to me, I think it's only really Halo that's been announced as of late or coming out. Correct me if I'm wrong. But do you think that the exclusive titles warrant buying the Xbox X Series, or is it going to be more of, if they're all going to be crossplay with Windows, would it be better to buy just a PlayStation and then play all those games on PC anyway?
I'm leaning towards, so that depends. If you've got a PC already, like if
Mm-hmm.
you want to support Xbox and you already have a PC, like I'm not going to tell you not to. Like I said, I'm a Microsoft fan. More power to you. But if you've got a decent PC already, and I'm pretty sure like the majority of like first party Xbox games are coming to PC, like Xbox Game Studios games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would personally like with me, like I said, I'm an Xbox fan, but it's like I'm not planning on getting an Xbox anytime soon because it's like I can play them all on my PC. So it's like I'm reaping the rewards of Xbox without needing it. So
Yeah.
yeah, the first next gen console I'm gonna get is gonna be the PS5 because I can reap the benefits of the Xbox One or the Xbox Series X already on my PC. I just need the Sony to reap the other rewards.
Yeah.
Which I think that's, like I said, going back to I think that's a great business model by Microsoft. Like they're trying to break down those barriers that like have been up for so long, which I'm like, hey, like that's sick. Like keep that up.
Yeah.
They're putting their stuff on Steam now. Like
Yeah. It was
I'm loving what
something
Microsoft's doing.
something for me that was really big, right? Because when I was always into streaming and so forth, and this is something that Microsoft with Windows did that I absolutely love to this day, and that was
Mhm.
adding the Xbox companion app
Oh
onto
yeah.
computers. Because when I would always, it was really hard for me when I first started streaming because all of my friends were on Xbox still. And so when I was streaming, I'd be playing on Xbox, but they all wanted to talk in party chat. They didn't have computers, so Discord really wasn't around then.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to use Skype, right? So when they made the companion app, which allowed me to be on my computer and be in a party chat on the console, that was game changing to me.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of that too. I literally did that too. Yeah. It's so convenient.
Mm-hmm. So, kind of moving away from the gaming topics, but more into you and streaming and with, the VKRC and things like that. For teams, what kind of drew you to VK, or kind of like what do you look for in a team?
Well, so one of the players of VK, one of the members of it, he's a Halo and Apex player. T Gravy. He's
Mm-hmm.
the guy who plays with the controller upside down. Um, I'd seen him. There's a YouTube channel called Single Halo Clips, and like they pull clips from all over Twitch, like from streamers and stuff. They're
Yeah.
great. I found a lot of cool people that way. But I remember seeing like T Gravy clips every now and again with this guy playing with an upside down controller. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then like he'd always play FFA snipes like I would, so we'd always match up. Like he'd always see my name, I'd always see his name, so we'd start talking and that figured out he's in Valkyrie, and then he was like, hey, like there's an RC coming, he's like, you should go for it. And I was like, never really thought of it, but it's like if someone on the team's like, hey, do it, I'm like, okay. Like I thought that was kind of cool. Like I said, and he plays Halo, he's a really cool guy, so I'm like, oh cool. Like if this guy is part of the team and he's this chill and cool, like everyone must be like, it's not like he's getting like he's the one cool guy and everyone else is an asshole.
Yeah. No,
And
for
I mean,
sure.
he hyped it up a lot. I mean, he talks about it a lot. So I was like, this sounds cool.
Yeah. No, that
So,
was something for me that drew me to VK was the group chat really, or the RC chat that way everybody's in.
hmm
With all these other RCs that go on, and I've done many of them myself, you go into this chat and there's so many people in there, and people kind of form cliques. Like they find somebody that they kind of connect with, and then they, will only talk to them in the group chat
they
or
latch.
only.
Yep.
And it's like that is not the case at all with the VKRC streamer chat as well. I mean, I don't know. I can't really speak for any of the other parts of the RC, because obviously they're doing a bunch of things. They're doing
Yeah, they are.
YouTube, sniping, designing, editing. They're TikTok. They literally have every avenue of
Yeah, they
creation.
they
You
kind
know,
of went hard with it.
yeah, and I thought that was really cool. Not to say, hey, we want streamers or we want designers or whatever, but to say, hey, if you're a creative person, there's a home
Yeah.
for you here.
Yeah, they're
Um,
like, we just want content. Like, it doesn't have to be a specific kind of content. And I'm like,
yeah,
huh.
yeah,
Like,
that
go
was
figure.
unique. Um,
Yeah, because I mean, I know the Phase 5 one's also going on, and it's like, Phase, it's really just, sniping. Like that's what Phase is known for, is Call of Duty. Oh, I
yeah,
guess Fortnite now. They do a lot of stuff, but like Phase 5 usually means sniping or Fortnite. So
yeah, no,
it was
for
kind of
sure.
cool to see Valkyrie be like, hey, if you make content in any way, like hit us up. And it's like, okay, easy for me.
Yeah. So with that, um, if you were to get onto VK, kind of where would you see yourself fitting into the team, or more so like where would you want to fit in?
I mean, like, so my thing with streaming is it's like, I want to be like, I'm a Halo streamer. Obviously, I'm primarily a Halo streamer, which, with Gravy, like me and him could play. Me and him are actually working on like doing a montage together.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I feel like that could be kind of cool. Like, maybe bring a little bit of Halo awareness to VK, and like me and him could do stuff with that, whether it's like some types of videos, like clip off challenges, something like that. Just something fun. You know how they do stuff like that for Call of Duty, like snipe offs and stuff like that. Maybe like me and Gravy could do a series, or if anyone else joins for Halo, like him and Gravy could do it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And I also like my streaming. It's like I like popular games. Don't get me wrong. I still play Call of Duty, but it's like usually when I stream games, I stream like not as popular games. Like I stream Halo. It's a popular game. Everyone's played it, but barely breaks 1,000 viewers on Twitch.
Yeah.
Play Warhammer games. Like I got my affiliate off a Need for Speed game, so it's like I could, not saying that all these games are bad, but it's like maybe just shine like that little extra light. It's like, hey, look at these like not as popular gems that are kind of fun. And if like,
Yeah.
even if people don't like them, it's like, hey, like let me show you why they're fun.
Yeah.
I said, I mean, Need for Speed was what got me my affiliate. It's like that game really never had any viewers, but they'd come and watch me. So I was like, this is fun. Like it's
Yeah.
awesome.
I think that comes into more about your personality, right? I mean, the little time that I had spent inside of your stream, right? It's a very welcoming and friendly vibe. But I do think that is an interesting like niche to find yourself in, of being this kind of creator that is in a way like the odd games, right? Like
Yep.
we're going to play games that you're going to come in and enjoy, games that you never thought you were going to come in and enjoy, right? And it
Yep.
almost could become like a challenge for viewers to come in and not enjoy your stream, right?
Yeah, that's like my thing with Warhammer. It's like, Warhammer is, it's really popular, but in a niche way. So it's like, me playing like Talisman, like I guarantee if you pull up Twitch right now, there's no one streaming it. But I like, streaming it on Fridays and people come in. Like one of my buddies, like he's like a recurring viewer. He's like, hey, let me know when y'all do Talisman again. That's fun to watch. And I'm like, that's it. Like that was the thing
Yeah.
where I'm like, that's what I wanted to hear. That's cool as hell. Like
Yeah.
even if it's just one person doing that, I'm like, all right, I succeeded in my job. Like I brought awareness to this. And it's like something I love. Like I like to nerd out about stuff. So it's like, if someone comes in and is like, hey, what's Warhammer? I can be like, all right, let me tell you a story about how awesome this is.
Yeah.
So it's like it's easier to do that with something that's like, smaller versus like, if someone comes in and nerds out about like Call of Duty, it's like, all right, everyone's gonna have like different thoughts on this. It's like, all right, this is overwhelming. Can we please stop?
Yeah. No, I
Don't
definitely
get me
see
wrong, I'll
that.
still play Call of Duty, but
Yeah, where it's kind of, I see this a lot with streamers that are kind of in these, niche games or even in games that are harder to understand. Like you look at Warcraft or, some of the card games, right? Like, I forget what Blizzard's is.
Hearthstone
Yeah,
and
Hearthstone. Um, but you look at these games, right, and they're not a game that you can kind of just come in and understand what it is, right?
exactly.
So like the community to me is more pure. Like people are there to either learn the game or to talk about the game. It's not as hyped up or in a way toxic as some of these, AAA titles like Call of Duty can be, where you're going to have anybody come in and they can just, shit post your entire stream away just because,
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, nice, like you choked a quad feed, you suck. It's like, all right, dude, I don't care.
yeah, we're here to game and have fun.
So
Um,
that's something to segue off that I apologize for interrupting, but my co-host, he just built a PC, so he would stream every now and again
mhm,
on our podcast Twitch channel, and he's about to start doing it again. But when he would stream, that's what he would do. He's big into like like Total War games, like RTS games and like World of Warships.
yeah,
And it's like, I'd watch him stream because it's like he's the one streaming, and it's like other people would watch him and like yeah, they'd come in and like ask, it's like I don't know anything about like Total War. Like RTS games are hard to me. So it's like him being really good at it and being like, I'm gonna flank and do this and set these guys to do that and explaining like an entire battle as it's happening. Like one, like you said, it's like that smaller community game. So like you said, they're there to learn or they're there to teach.
yeah,
So like it was interesting to watch him be like, explaining like this 10-step process. And I'm like, huh, didn't know that, but now I do. Now what I'm watching makes sense.
yeah,
Same with World of Warships. It's like you would think like, oh, it's just shoot ships, but it's like once you start talking about, it, it's like, oh, okay, no, there's a lot of strategy involved in this. So like that's kind of like his thing. So like you said, yeah, smaller, more niche communities I think are more welcoming with open arms because they want you to be like, hey, like this is why this is fun. Let me show you.
yeah. I think that
Which I
kind
like.
of draws into the culture of, like playing card games like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and
Mhm.
so on, where you could come in and someone's really passionate about it, right? And that's where I think it starts is because to be into an RTS game or to be into a card game to learn these in-depth 10-step processes to
Mhm.
do something, you have to really be interested into it. And when you're interested in
Yep.
something, you love talking about it, you love telling other people about it. That's how I get with streaming and gaming
Yep.
in general. Like when I go to family events and I'm around, most of my siblings and cousins are all significantly older than me. So they have really no concept of gaming or how it's a profession or anything like that, right?
Boomers.
Boomers. They are absolute boomers, right? So my Zoomer ass coming in and trying to tell them about how gaming's a profession and showing them, League of Legends World Finals where they, had however many thousand people sitting inside of an Olympic arena watching League of Legends,
Yeah.
right? That to me is so exciting to continue to explain to people. So I definitely see how that kind of can translate into the same niches of smaller gaming.
Yeah.
So now with this, right, we talk about all of these different niches of gaming and so on. Do you think that this is a positive trend, or do you think that more people should kind of look at gaming as more of just, hey, we're here to game and hang out? Or because I see a lot of people kind of go towards the business side versus just the gaming side. So, like, in your
It's
opinion, do you think that the business approach and having a really structured, like, hey, this is how I'm going to make money, this is how I'm going to be successful, is the right route? Or do you think it's more in terms of just game, just have fun, and you'll grow from there?
I'm torn on both because for some people it's like, they're making business deals, like they're doing all this stuff, like that's their income, like they're huge names, like they did this for themselves, like they
Yeah.
did that. So it's like, I'm like, what, more power to you. Secure the bag, like, make these business deals. But it's like, if people want it, like, I want both sides to like exist like together. It's like, if people want to just be like that small niche streamer who it's like, hey, I'm gonna crack a beer, I get my 10 viewers here, I'm happy. More power to you. I want him to be as happy as a guy who's like, I've got 50,000 viewers, I just made like 10K playing this game. Like, both of you all be happy. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
it's like, the same, which kind of sucks because it's like, it's almost like people like to frown on the people making it big. Like, Ninja, he gets so much hate, and it's like, you know, I was a Ninja fan. Like, I watched him stream because he was a Halo pro.
Yeah.
I watched him like stream on like Justin TV and Twitch when he was like no viewers, like low production quality. So it's like, to see him go from like this goofy little Halo pro to what he is now, it's like, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, why'd you secure that business deal sellout? I'm like, you kind of earned this, man. Like, you go for it.
Yeah, Ninja, why did you take $30 million to go to Mixer and then have your
Yo, Ninja,
contract binded and go back to Twitch
why'd you
with
f-
30
why'd you
million?
floss in front of a million people and no one did anything? I like,
Oh
as much as
man.
I love Ninja, like, damn, I feel so bad for him in that clip. So bad.
Oh man. Did you watch him when he was on The Masked Singer as the ice cream cone?
I had seen that he was gonna be on it, but I didn't watch it. No, we don't have like cable TV. We just have like streaming services.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like, I can't see stuff until like it comes on that streaming service. But like,
Mhm.
I saw it on Twitter, social media and stuff like after the fact. So I did see it, just not live.
Yeah, he sang Old Town Road on
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh my gosh." Um
I want to like I want to like you, Ninja, but come on.
Yeah, I watched Ninja when he was doing H1Z1. That's when I got into
Yeah,
watching Ninja. Um,
that was like when he really started to grow.
yeah. I remember it's the two legendary clips of the e-girl clip where he's walking around like Latharith, oh, let me write your name on the board.
Yeah,
And then
classic.
the other one where it's the fuck you say to me, you little shit. Oh,
That's like my
that's
favorite
that's
soundbite
my
ever.
favorite clip out of all time. You know how many
I still
times
quote that like today. Like, if I'm in a game and someone's like, yo, like if I'm playing a game and someone's like, yo, you suck. Fuck you say to me, you little shit.
Yeah, I'll be downstairs, right? And like my brother-in-law, he's a huge gamer as well. So I'll be, doing and so I'll go in there and he'll say something to me, out of pocket or whatever, and I'll be like, "The fuck you say to me, you little
Yep.
shit?" It's just those moments in gaming are what I don't want gaming to lose. As it goes into this
Yeah.
streaming and professional business, I don't want it to become this politically correct medium where now if you want to stream, you have to, fit into this box and be this guideline. I want it to stay that, open or an organic, creative site.
Yeah.
So kind of with that, right? We've covered a lot of different things here. Um, I want to give it the time to you to promote yourself. Where can people find you? When do you stream? How can people connect with you?
So, like you said earlier, I do a podcast. So I'll plug that first. So it's like, we have a podcast. It's called the KillCamCast. We're on Apple and Spotify, and we're hosted through Podbean, so you can find us there. At KillCamCast is our Twitter. Mine is at LOLKStew. I stream every night, but once I go back to work, it'll be Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday nights. That was my schedule back in the day. I plan on keeping it for simplicity's sake at 8 p.m. Central. Um, and when I get KillCamCast, when he starts streaming again, I think he said he was going to stream Wednesday, Thursdays, maybe Mondays, depending on if he's in or out of town. Um, I stream over at twitch.tv/LOLKstew. All of that information's there. I probably should have plugged that because I have a link to my podcast there, YouTube, everything. But I mean, yeah, you want to come shoot the shit on Halo, or come watch me like really nerd out on some Warhammer 40K, like, place to be.
There you go. And everybody, those links will be in the description below as well. Make sure you go click on them. Make sure you subscribe. Follow this man. He is a really talented gamer. He's funny. I
Yep.
enjoy chilling in his stream as well. Check out the podcast. I
Yo,
haven't
check
found.
out, yeah, it's like, follow this podcast. If he's not gonna say it, I'll say it too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But no, check out the KillCamCast. Honestly, this is no cap, no ass kissing. I have watched the episodes genuinely. Like, obviously, I started watching them trying to kind of gauge personality and learn a little bit
Mhm.
about you as to coming into this interview. But I have genuinely gone in and when I'm in the car ride, just thrown them on and started listening to them. I mean, that is a really good show.
We
I
try to
think
make it organic.
the show I liked the most was the intro. What was it? The Valorant one where it was
I
like,
hate the
oh, what did he say? He
oh,
was
where he's
like,
like, "We are Valorant,"
yeah,
like, how, like, fucking how he
we
the
are Valorant.
I hate it. I hate his intros because they're always so terrible, and I'm like, "Thanks." And his intros and exits, I'm like, "I hate doing this podcast with him because it's like, thanks."
Alrighty, everybody. That is going to do it here at this episode of We Got Next. Be sure to tune in next Saturday for the following week's episode. We will be posting weekly episodes here. Again, connect with us on all social medias as well. That's going to do it for me and Stu here. I hope you have a good one, and we'll see you guys next week. See you later.
Y'all take it easy.